Thank you so much. What a wonderful evening. I first of all want to thank the other entertainers who are here today. A great friend and an extraordinary musician, Ben Harper. Please give it up for Ben. Tony nominee, Brown Esparza. Give it up for Raul. Before they walk off the stage, please give a big round to the band. Come on out here. Take a bow, guys. Thank you so much. And fun for one of the greatest singers of our generation and entertainers, Barbra Streisand. This should be a celebratory evening. We've got 48 days to go in a campaign. A campaign that started 19 months ago, at a time when a lot of folks thought we might not get it. They were skeptical that we could raise the money. They didn't think we had the support.
You got it.
There was a sense that this skinny kid with a funny name it might not have what it took.
Doesn't matter. You got it.
But a lot of you out here said, yes, we can. And 19 months later, yes, we have. And 48 days from now, yes, we will. So this should be a celebratory, but the truth is that I'm in a different mood tonight. Partly because we just saw this week a storm sweep through the Gulf, and there are millions of people without power, tens of thousands of people without a place to live. Here in Los Angeles, there was a tragedy that took the lives of so many. And over the last couple of days, we've seen reports of the worst financial crisis that we've had in generations. And we don't yet know how it's going to play itself out. But what we know is that in addition to the storms that have been happening in the Gulf and the tumult that's been happening on Wall Street, a whole lot of Americans have been going through their own quiet storm. Long before it hit Wall Street, long before it hit the financial pages, wages were flat, incomes were declining, people were working harder and harder just to get by. They were losing jobs as plants shuttered. Equipment was shipped overseas, and people lost not just their jobs, but their health care, their pensions, and their sense of dignity, their sense of self-worth. All across this country, there are children languishing in poverty, and there are children who are children of the middle class, and yet are finding themselves unable to finance a college education. All across America, there are people who have worked all their lives, done everything right, and yet find themselves at the age of 55 or 60 without health care and without any savings to retire on. And they ask themselves, what went wrong? What happened? How did we find ourselves in this situation? And all around the world, people are looking at America and wondering what's happened to that bright and shining light that has stood for what's best in the world, opportunity and unity and prosperity and freedom and due process and a constitution that we respect and fight for. So I'm not in a celebratory mood. We are at a defining moment in our history. Our nation's involved in 2 wars. Our economy is in crisis. But more than that, we feel, all of us, that somehow we've gotten badly off track, and that unless we do something about it, unless we seize this moment, that we may be passing on an America to our children that is less prosperous, maybe meaner, more divided than the country we inherited from our parents. And there's something perverse about that. It's the reverse of the American dream. It's the reverse of what is best and essential in this country, which has always been that we've been willing to work hard and sacrifice to ensure that the next generation has it better. And that's the spirit that you still see in the American people. That's what I see in diners and VFW halls and on farms and in factories all across America. And yet, as hard as people are working, as determined as they are to make it for their families, as willing as they are to contribute to their communities, they feel this complete disconnection from government. The sense that nobody's hearing them, nobody's fighting for them, that the game has gotten fixed. That the game's gotten fixed for the insiders and the power brokers and the insiders, and even in the midst of the kind of economic crisis that we're seeing right now, that somehow they're the ones who are going to end up suffering the most. So there's enormous cynicism about the possibilities of government, and rightfully so, because Washington over the last 8 years has been in the grips of what George Bush called the ownership society, but what really translates into the you're on your own philosophy. You know, you lost your job, tough luck, you're on your own. You don't have health care, suck it up, you're on your own. Born into poverty, didn't choose the right parents, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. You're on your own. We've become almost numb to this accepted wisdom in Washington and in the White House that there's no role for government to provide people with the ladders, the steps to get into the middle class and stay in the middle class and lift up their sights and achieve their dreams. And I think there's something wrong about that. And it turns out that when we started this campaign, my bet was that the American people did too.